Back to the show. You're just in time for Unfiltered. So today's guest is an accomplished author, poet, and the owner of Moonflower Essentials. Please welcome to our show the lovely Miss May Rain.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yo.
It's the name for me.
May Rain.
Yes.
I like your whole vibe and energy. You just been a whole mood since
And
you
you
came
smell
in.
amazing.
And you smell it.
Thank you.
She's going to have us smelling amazing.
That's
she gave
right.
us some little goodies.
Later on.
That's
So,
right.
thank you for coming on our show and
Oh,
bringing
thank
all your
you.
gifts with you. So I have to ask, what sparked your interest in making candles?
So I've always loved candles, right? I've always been a candle junkie. I was all of the big name candle stores.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I was a regular, right?
Okay.
And they were therapeutic. I knew what they would do for me,
Okay.
right? And being a single mom, I was broke and I was broken.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, all right.
And at the time, I was twisting my own hair,
Okay.
you know, because I couldn't afford to go to the
Gorgeous.
salon, right? So I'm sitting under the dryer one day, and I pick up O Magazine, and I'm reading the magazine, right? I've always loved that magazine. I get a lot of inspiration from there.
Okay.
So I'm reading a story about a woman whose story reflected mine. She was a single mother. She didn't have, you know, money.
Okay.
And she also loved candles.
Huh.
So she started doing candles for her friends and family just as gifts, right? Because she
Right.
couldn't afford to buy expensive gifts.
Wow.
So she would make these candles and, you know, a great gift, right?
Right.
Right.
And I was thinking, like, maybe I should do that.
Okay.
You know, maybe that could help me out of my situation, right?
Right.
If it worked for somebody else, because I think that agreement is important.
Okay.
And so I agreed with it. When I read it, I was like, you know what? These hands are blessed.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's go.
So I started there. I started
Good.
making candles. That was 2011. Experimenting with different types of wax, fell in love
Okay.
with soy wax. And in 2012, I sold my first candle.
Wow, that's awesome. I love what you said. Agree to yes.
Be agreed.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna remember that. So outside of making candles, you have a whole lot of other accomplishments. You're
Yes.
a published author. You're
Yes.
a poet.
Yes.
So what are some of those highlights?
Spoken word is something that also saved my life, right?
Okay.
Being a young kid, dealing with depression and all of that kind of stuff. Writing poetry was like a release for me, right? I could go somewhere else in my head,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Nice.
And just going through the journey of writing, right? Being able to publish those words. I've opened for Angela Davis.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done poetry for people that I really admire.
Right.
And I performed at places that I really admire. The New Eurekan Cafe in New York.
Oh, there you
right?
go. Let's go.
Yes, yes, I
Let's
featured
go.
there.
Now.
Bus Boys and Poets in D.C.
Yeah.
You know, these places, when I was a single mom, you know, raising my kids, they were younger.
Right.
These were places that I dreamed about going, right?
Oh,
when my
man.
friends would send me pictures, look, I'm in Bus Boys and Poets, right? And again, agreement.
Right.
And I say that, and people take agreement for granted, right?
Yeah.
In 2013, a friend of mine sent me a picture in Bus Boys and Poets and said, you would love it here, right? Took the video, sent me video of all the books and all of the things that were happening there.
Wow.
And I said, I really want to go there. So in 2015, right, I'm in Baltimore visiting a friend, and
Right.
she says, I have a poetry feature. I'm like, cool, I'll go with you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So we get dressed and we go, and we pull up, and I'm like, is this Bus Boys and Poets?
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh my God, I manifested this.
Wow.
So now I'm watching my friend, who I admire as a spoken word
Right.
artist. Her name is Love. I admire her as a spoken word artist, and she's getting to do this amazing performance on this stage. And I'm like, I
Wow.
gotta hit that stage.
Right.
I gotta hit that stage,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And I'm manifesting this as I'm sitting there. Guess what? In 2018, I did a 5-night tour in DC. I did all the Bus Boys and Poets.
Wow.
It was amazing, yes.
And they're always packed.
Always packed.
Wow.
Oh
Always
my
packed.
gosh.
So it was amazing. You know, manifestation, agreement, it's important.
I just
Actually,
love
I always say that. And write the vision, make it plain.
That's right.
See it, believe it.
That's right.
Wow.
And
good.
and give thanks as if you're already there.
Boom.
Because that's the thing. Like when you are in your space of gratitude, you gotta feel it, you know,
gotta
the
be
excitement.
excited.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta feel. You gotta be like, congratulations, girl.
Right.
Like it just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
receiving this
Yes.
life
Yeah.
advice.
Good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, May, I want to circle back to something that you just said. You said that you sold your first candle in 2012.
Yes.
So, at what point did you realize your business had taken off? Like, when were you like, okay, this is booming?
So that's super interesting, right? I was working at the time, I making minimum wage, right? Barely making it, okay? And so the candle thing was something I did on the side, right?
Okay.
So I would be ecstatic if I could pay my light bill with the candles, right? I'd be really excited, right?
Yeah.
So in 2020, I quit my job. I walked away from my job making $29,000 a year, right? After 15 years of
Oh
being
my
there.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was time.
Yeah, it was more than time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so in 2020, I make around $60,000 in making candles, you know,
Right.
selling candles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is okay.
This is a thing.
This is a thing.
Yeah, this-
Like I need to, okay, this is what I should be doing, right? Because I put in my 2 weeks notice,
Right.
and I'm thinking, forget it. Like I'm gonna go full time with my poetry. I'm gonna let my creativity,
Right.
you know, fund my life, right?
Right.
So what happened is the day that I'm leaving my job,
Right.
everything is shut down because of COVID. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I stepped out on faith. You know, you said no weapon formed against me shall prosper, but them weapons right up on me, like poverty is right there,
Right,
you know.
right.
Listen.
And so I was nervous. I was scared a little bit, you know, to be honest. But the candle business, like people were sitting home ordering everything online, and I'm looking at my orders like, what?
Wow.
What is happening?
Ooh, we about to find out why.
Right. So I mean, it just something amazing happened, right? So that was 2020, and then I started also during that time teaching people how to make candles. People couldn't go out to
Well,
do different things.
Well, you're about to teach us.
Right.
You're about to teach us.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen, this is so amazing, but we got to take a short break. We'll be right back with Miss May Rain. Don't go anywhere.
On for the holidays, so I didn't have his little help around the house, so he came back last night.
I'm sure he was excited to get back home.
He was.
Yeah.
And so was the dog.
Oh, Tyson was gone.
Tyson has a whole jail cell. So my husband found this new cage.
Okay.
And it literally looks like a jail cell. I have to take a picture and
You
bring
need
it
to take
tomorrow.
a picture.
It's so sad.